Alright, so I'm going to be replacing the screen on this HP Pavilion laptop model 15-CS3153CL. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and remove this USB. Now we're going to remove these rubber feet because most likely there's some screws hidden underneath. I just used my fingernail to get underneath. You can use whatever you want, plastic pry tools, whatever, a little screwdriver. Whatever works. Okay, so we got those two out. You can see there's screws under here. We're going to also remove these, or at least one of them, just to check if there's any hidden screws under there. Usually there aren't, but it's always good to check just in case. As you can see, there's no screw here. Okay, so we're going to leave that one in place. Hopefully they don't have one hidden underneath just one side. But anyways, looks like we're going to use a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that. And let's remove all the screws from the bottom. So let's remove this screw here. Okay, you want to keep all the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. The way you do that is you just put the flat side down like that on your desk or on a magnetic tray or whatever you have. In the pattern you remove it. Okay, so you can see there's two like this and then there's one here. And then on the front, these are all silver screws, so just keep that in mind. Alright, keep them all in order. And let's go ahead now and remove those 3 screws again. Just keep them in a row. Alright, if this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. Helps you save a bunch of money. Please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computer repairs. I don't know if you've been following my channel, you probably noticed that I'm actually getting a lot less repairs now. So please keep that in mind. It's a little bit tough to keep making these videos when it's actually kind of putting me out of business. But anyways, all right, let's go ahead and now pop this thing open. So let's see, we're going to try with a suction cup. Usually these bottom covers on these HPs are pretty difficult to remove. It has some really strong clips that hold it in place. So let's see if I can find a weak spot this time. Okay, so pulling from this side seems to help more. You don't technically need a suction cup, it just makes it easier to do. Alright, you can actually just pry this open with some plastic pry tools. As you can see, I'm actually like using my fingernails to kind of get in the gaps here, and then I'm kind of just pulling up. Alright, so I'm just trying to find a weak spot where I can undo the clips easier. So here you go, we can get this side out a lot easier. If you want, usually I just use my fingernails like this. You don't even need the suction cup, but the suction cup helps flex the case up like this and helps pull the clips a little bit away from the outer casing to make it a little bit easier to pop up, as you can see. Alright, so there we go, we're getting that side up. Let's go ahead and now go down the sides. Okay, again, it helps to kind of flex the case inwards so that way it pulls the clips away from what it's clipping into. Okay, so here we're gonna pull this up. There you go. I'm gonna move this down and again pull that. All right, so here you can see now we're getting most of the case up. If you want, you can also just flex the middle like this. I use my pinky and thumb, and then I can pull it like this. Right, and as you can see, that kind of flexes it this way, so that way it's easier to kind of pull these clips away. There are some strong clips in the center that are always somewhat difficult to remove, but you kind of just gotta work it, wiggle it, and you'll eventually get it. Alright, so there we go. Here you can see the cover is all coming out. We are kind of just pulling on it and wiggling it, and there we go. Alright, we got the bottom cover off. I am going to clean the dust up. It's not too bad, but might as well since we got it open and it's a little bit difficult to get apart. There's the battery here, which also acts as the BIOS or CMOS battery. Let me zoom in so you can get a better view. I don't know if you can read that, but the battery model number, oh yeah, you can now, HT03XL. Alright, if you want, you can also use the HP spare part number, which is L11119-855, okay? Alright, so we're going to remove the battery now. So to do that, just remove the screws. Okay, so there's one screw here. Again, keep all the screws in order. Alright, so there's that one. There's one in this corner over here. Okay, so we got those two, and then you got two towards the bottom, so we'll remove those as well. Okay, now that we've gotten all the screws out, we're going to just lift the battery out. Okay. So the battery's pretty easy to get out. Just get underneath. I use my fingernails. You can use whatever works. Be careful if you're using metal tools that you don't short any of these components. But anyways, I just get under there and pull it up like that. All right, so there we go. Get all the dust off here. Okay, then we'll just set the battery aside. All right, so let me see. So there's an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD in here. So if you want to upgrade that, one screw pops up slightly and you just pull it out. If you're not sure how to do that, you can watch a few of my other videos. I show how to do that on most of the computers I work on. It's basically like the wireless card. Same thing, one screw, you can pull it up slightly and then pull it back. The antennas you pull by the tail. You want to be very careful. If you're not sure how to do that, you want to watch a few of my other videos to see, because these connectors are a little bit fragile. Because of that, I don't like to pull them off if I don't have to. Sometimes the design or the solder on them is bad and it can tear off. So to be safe, I don't want to pull out things I don't need to when I'm working on a customer's computer. All right, so we have the SD card slot here, which is connected by a cable to the motherboard here. There is room for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here. You will need an adapter if you want to use one. If you're using a spinning drive, you'll also want to get the hard drive caddy and all the screws that hold it into place. So keep that in mind. I don't know if this one actually uses screws to hold the hard drive caddy in place. It looks like there's 2 screws there, but I think this might just be the one with the rubber sleeve that holds it in place. Anyways, the 2 USB ports here and this lock mechanism are over here. 2 USB ports are on its own separate board with a cable over here. There's a board model number here if you need that for some reason. There you go. You can read that, hopefully. Okay, again, I'm not going to be pulling all these things out since the only thing they need is the screen done. You got the keyboard backlight connector, you got the keyboard connector, and you got the trackpad connector. All of these have a little flip latch. Speaking of which, just to be safe, what I'm going to do, usually you do this right after disconnecting the battery if you're going to work on other internal components. Since I'm working with only the screen, that's the most important part where you need to do this. But basically we're going to hold the power button for 15 seconds after we remove the battery to make it safer to work on. All right, this makes it so it drains any residual power from the motherboard. That way, if there's any power stored in the capacitors and things like that, it's a lot less likely to damage the computer. All right, you got the fan here. Looks like 3 screws holding it in place. This kind of connector you can just grab and wiggle to pull it out. Again, I'm not going to be pulling things out unless needed, just in case it can cause additional damage. Here you got the LCD or Lvds connector. Again, if you're going to mess with this, make sure that you disconnected the battery, open the computer, and press and hold the power button for 15 seconds or more. All right, you got the speaker cable here for that speaker. You got another speaker on this side. Okay, and actually the wire runs all the way underneath and connects both speakers over here, it looks like. Okay, let's see what else we got. Sorry, we also got the RAM. So the RAM here, let me pop this up. So you pull those 2 tabs to the sides, is 8 gig PC4 2666V. So you can get any PC4 2666V. So if you want, you can get 2 16 gig sticks. Just make sure it's PC4 2666V, okay? All right, and of course, if you can't count, because a lot of people ask me how many slots of RAM there are, there's 2, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get that in. All right, so there we go. We got everything out. I think I mentioned everything. Oh, a lot of people ask me if they can upgrade the CPU as well. You can't. It's soldered into place. If I said yes, I don't know how you would remove it off. So, yeah. I mean, technically, there's people that can upgrade it, but it's not going to be worth the cost. You might as well buy a new computer. So, the real answer is no. Okay, and then, let's see. We're going to just clean this up a little bit. So it looks like they reused this design because there's an option for a second fan. Oops, sorry, I was going out of view. Okay, I think the only other thing I didn't mention is the DC jack or the charge port here. So if you want to remove this, you're going to have to undo all the screws for this hinge, and then you can lift this thing up. Usually it's really hard to lift this, so what you can do is open the laptop just a little bit and then close it back down so that it gets a gap here. Then you can get underneath and pull it back. And then this looks like it's just held in with this hinge. So after that, you can lift this out and then unthread all this cable here all the way to here, and then you can kind of wiggle that and pull it out. If you want, you can also test the charge port without replacing it first by just getting a new one, plugging it in, and then you can actually plug the charger without actually installing it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get on to replacing the screen. Okay, so we're going to zoom out a bit. You want to be careful opening and closing this because there's now only 2 screws holding the hinges. This side actually has 3. Actually, they both have, is that 3? No, this side only has 2. But yeah, so you want to be extra careful because now that there's not as many screws holding that in place, it's easier to break. So we're just going to slowly, carefully open it. All right. Now we're going to get the screen out of the display assembly. So to do that, I just use my fingernails. Again, you can use plastic pry tools, but we're going to get underneath here. Okay. And we're just going to pull this up. Okay. So we're going to go across. Okay. So we're working our way over. There is a adhesive holding it in place, so keep that in mind. This is going to be somewhat of a difficult thing. If your screen isn't broken, you don't want to attempt this because there's a good chance you can actually damage the screen trying to remove this. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm pushing the bezel inwards as I kind of lift from the inside. All right, and that undoes the clips and latches that are inside holding it. All right, we're going to do the same thing with this side, basically pushing it in towards the center and then kind of lifting it up. Okay, so I might have to rotate it. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm working on it at an awkward angle to try and keep it in the video, but okay, just go ahead and keep working your way down just like this. Again, I'm pulling it in towards the center as I'm lifting it out, just like that. Okay, there's adhesive underneath. You don't need this adhesive, so if you want, you can just throw it away. It's just some double stick tape. You don't need to transfer that over to the new screen, so keep that in mind. All right, we're going to go over to the other side and do the same thing. Lift that up and pull that towards the center. Okay, I make it look easy, but take your time. All right, you don't want to rush this and then damage it. Okay, and then just take all this adhesive out and throw it away. Again, you don't need this adhesive. The clips are strong enough to hold it in on its own. Okay. If you break the clips or something, or if it is loose for some reason, of course you can go back and add the adhesive, but usually it's not necessary. Okay. So we're going to rotate this over. Okay, you want to be very careful because now the motherboard is exposed on the bottom. Okay. But I'm rotating it this way so that I can get over to here easier. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Got this whole bezel out. Okay, I'm gonna work our way down, and this one's a bit more difficult because there's less room here. So I'm gonna see. I don't know if I have to take the whole screen assembly out of the computer before pulling this, but we'll find out. Okay, so this one also has a bunch of adhesive, and usually it's quite a bit of a pain to remove. So I use a thin pry tool. It doesn't have to be metal. You can use plastic, whatever works for you. Some people get worried when I use metal tools, but I don't have any issues with it. So what I do is I pull this, and then I use the metal tool to help push down the black plastic layer of the LCD, and that is to prevent it from separating from the screen. Again, if your screen is broken, you probably don't need to worry about this. The screen on this is broken, but I like to try and preserve the screen just in case if they want to switch it back or something for some reason. But most likely nobody's going to switch back to their broken screen if they're trying to get it fixed. But it's always best to try and keep everything intact. Okay, and this adhesive is actually a lot more difficult to remove than the other side, so keep that in mind. All right, as you can see, I'm just slowly working my way down. I don't know if you can see. I'm just pulling this, and then I'm pushing this down while I pull this back. Okay, so, and then my tool's kind of getting stuck to it a little bit, but we're just going to keep working our way over. Okay, just like this. Okay, the clip just came disconnected. So we're going to keep working our way over, just like this. Okay. Let's see, this is such a pain to remove. Okay, we're only halfway done with the bottom. Let's see if this is coming out. Okay, it looks like this will come out, so we should be okay. I'm going to open it or close it a little more so it's about 90 degrees. Okay. More clips are popping out. Okay. So if you have some kind of non-stick tool to do this, that might help a little bit because the tape keeps sticking. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to go now underneath the tape and let's go ahead and keep pulling this out. Okay, the clips here are holding pretty strong actually. Okay, so I might have to start going over from this side now. But here you can see we got most of it out. Let's see if I can continue a little bit more this way. Okay, the other clip came out. Again, pushing this over. Okay, continue working your way down. Go. All right, now that we got it all out, it's unclipped. Here you can see we can go ahead and pull this up. All right. Oh, some of the adhesive is still stuck on the back here. Okay, so again, you don't have to use the adhesive, so if you want, you can peel it off. If the adhesive is all lumped up like this, you want to remove that so it doesn't cause any issues putting pressure on the screen. Okay. Oh, is this one designed like the other one? I think this one has stretch release pull tabs here, so we are going to have to remove that adhesive as well. Okay, I'm just going to remove that. Okay, so this might be a little tough to show. If you wanted to make it really easy, you would actually take the whole screen assembly out, but I'm going to do it without it. So I don't know if you can see in here, there's these little white tabs here. So those are pull stretch release adhesives. Okay, let me see, do I have to remove those to get those out? Most likely. Let me double check something real quick and I'll be back. I thought I opened this to check the screen model number, so I'm a little confused. Maybe I worked on this one already. Yeah, okay, I think I worked on this one already. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna peel this out and then we'll get behind here so that we can see the screen, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and put it up like this. Oh yeah, the customer, they broke their screen a second time. That's why I'm working on this again. Anyways, I can actually now see the broken screen thing at a certain angle. Oh, you can't really, oh yeah, there you can see it at that angle. Okay, so anyways, we're gonna grab these stretch release tabs. Yours are probably gonna be, might not be white like that, it might be black. But anyways, you're just gonna grab the stretch release. Okay, it's an adhesive. Okay, I'm gonna have to use some tweezers to do this. Okay, once you grab that, you're gonna pull it through. Okay, so we're pulling it through to the other side here. And then you want to try and pull this straight back if you can. So let me actually pull more of this out. Uh-oh, this is going to be tough, isn't it? Okay, there we go. So we're going to pull it through here. And then we're just going to pull it straight back through here. Most likely this adhesive isn't going to survive. And I'm going to have to replace it with something else. But, yep. All right, so we're going to grab that. And we're going to continue stretching it. Oh, and there we go. Okay, so we got a lot of the adhesive to survive, but not all of it. Here you can see it folded over on itself a little bit. So we're going to have to cut that stuff off, and we'll just use what's remaining. You don't really need that much of the adhesive, so don't worry about it. All right, we're going to go over to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing. So there's the tab on that one. Okay, so we're going to use the tweezers and pull that out. I know, sorry, my hands are in the way. It's hard to get a good angle of this and make this easy to work on, so I'm doing what I can. Okay, so if you want, you can also stretch it this way. It's just slower, but basically while you're pulling it, you can keep pulling it straight down with your finger like this as you kind of continue stretching it. That way you can probably save more of the adhesive. Let me actually rotate this so you can see it better. So basically you can keep pulling this, and then while you're pulling it, you have to push this down so that it pulls straight down, because you can't pull it towards yourself to release this adhesive. Okay, so you can do it this way. Slowly pulling it, and then you can let it go back in, grab a little bit closer. I should have actually done that with the first one, because now I wasted a bit of the adhesive, but it should be okay. The screen will still hold itself in place. Okay, same thing. Now we'll let go, get closer, continue pulling again. Okay, we're getting close to the end, so we gotta stop closer and continue going. Okay, getting there. Actually, let me do that. Okay. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't fold it on itself. Let go, please. There we go. Okay, continue pulling. We're almost there. Alright, and there we go. Okay, so this one we got most of it intact. It did fold a tiny bit on itself. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let me try and unfold that. Oh, it doesn't want to unfold. This adhesive is too strong. It sticks to itself too strong. Oh, okay, it's a lot better. Alright, so we'll set that aside. Now let's go ahead and drop the screen forward. Okay, just grab it and lay it over this way. Right, you want to be careful because there's not much slack here. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to peel this up. Okay, set that tape aside, and then we're going to peel this up as well. Oh, why is this all broken here? Okay, let's get this tool and scrape that out. Okay. Alright, and then let's go ahead and peel that up. And then we're going to just pull this connector out. Oops, sorry, probably should have zoomed in a bit for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this connector out. So just like that at the wings. Okay, if you're wondering, let's see. So there's a lot of different compatible models. So this screen is NV156FHM-T01 version 8.1. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we got for the replacement screen. I think I ordered using the same model, but a lot of times the vendors like to send just compatible models, not the same exact one. Okay, compare. I'm going to compare this first because, alright, okay, so this connector lines up okay, and the replacement model that they sent here is this BOE, oh sorry, where is it, NV156FHM-T01 version 8.0, alright. Okay, so actually the model's the same, alright, except for the version, it's like an older. But anyways, let's go ahead and install the screen. So we're gonna line this up, get the connector into place. It is a little tricky with the lack of slack here. You might have to pull it a little bit away because there's adhesive holding it in place. Okay, we're gonna get this all lined up. All right, everything lined up. Okay, and then just grab this and pull that into place, just like that. All right, make sure it clicks into place, because if you don't pull this in all the way, then you did all this work for nothing. All right, so there we go. Also, if you try and turn it on and power it up with it not connected properly, you can actually damage your computer. So it's very important that you get this in properly. Okay, so we got that. Now let's go ahead and stick this tape back on top. I think this tape was on it when the customer brought it, so yeah. All right, let me try and unstick this part. I don't think it's going to be possible, but we'll try, because otherwise I can only use a little bit of this adhesive. It unstuck a little bit. Oh, okay, it's not too bad. Sorry, I didn't realize I'm going out of view again, but basically I'm trying to unstick the adhesive that curled on itself. All right, it's not too bad. There's only a little bit of sticking. It's a little bit on here on the end, but this part will be like the pull tab, so not as important. Okay. Uh-oh, this one has a tear in it. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that off. Anyways, let's zoom out here. We're gonna use this adhesive again. So I'm gonna cut off the part that got a tear in it because I don't want that tear to end up causing the adhesive to rip while trying to remove it. Okay, so we got that. All right, now we're going to basically put the adhesive back in its place. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hold this here, and then you find the little notch here that it was in before. Just get it in there. Okay, stick it in place, and then just stick this all the way back up the panel. Okay, there we go. It doesn't need to be perfect because it has this whole metal area to grip to. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, grab the adhesive here. Okay, hold it on, line it up with that. Okay, we have this little area here. They actually put a white line to show you kind of where it goes. Okay, and then just get that on there, stick that in. There we go. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna lift the screen back up, and you wanna be careful because you have to get this right the first time, otherwise you're gonna have to undo all the adhesive again. So what we're gonna do, let's flip this over, let me zoom out a bit. Okay, make sure to hold on to the screen, slowly lower it down. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to it from the sides now, and we're gonna match up the top edge corner here, okay, and this one. Once you get those two top edge corners in, you can drop it into place, and then you can actually stick it down. All right. Oh, I just realized, how did they ship a broken screen? Okay, I just realized the replacement screen's actually broken here, so oh man, I did all that work for nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to contact the seller. I don't know how it broke because they packed it really well. So they packed it in, I don't know if I got that on camera. They packed it in this, okay, with that. And then they packed it with a whole bunch of these bubble wrap things. And the box is really sturdy, and the box actually looks to be in good condition. So actually, I don't know, there's a hole in it here. Oops. So, and then there's actually a dent on the back here. I didn't realize that earlier. And a dent here. Probably should have done the whole thing within camera, including the unboxing. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I'm gonna plug the thing back in. For now, we're gonna leave that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take it back out. But let's go ahead and plug it in and just see what it looks like. But that sucks. Alright. The rest of the reassembly process is pretty straightforward. You just do the reverse of what you did. We're gonna push the battery back in. I'm just gonna test it first. I might already have a video showing this since I worked on this a while back. But anyways, let's turn this on. Oh, I probably have to plug it back in. Okay, oops, let me plug it in real quick. Let's see here. Do we got the plug over here? Go. HP charger. Oops, let me get the battery back in right. Okay. Let's actually put one screw there so it doesn't fall back out. we got those. Okay, this battery screw here. All right. That one should be enough to hold the connector in place. Let's go ahead and open it up. Let's plug this in. And let's see what it looks like. Huh, why is it not powering up? Charge light's not even coming on. That's weird. What's going on here? Is something else wrong with it? Charger, we left the charger in. Okay, screen's in. That's in, RAM. Is my charger not plugged in? Okay, I think my charger's not plugged in. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, my charger wasn't plugged in. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. That scared me. It's powered up. It's powering on. Let's see how bad this screen looks. I'm going to press the escape key so that way I can go into the boot menu. If it comes up. So usually after removing the battery, it's resetting the BIOS. So it's going to eventually pop up and say that the BIOS was reset. So we'll give it a bit. There we go. Here you can see the screen is cracked. Okay, anyways, let me see here if I can show you that. Alright, so you can see it works, but it's cracked all down one side. I don't know how that happened again. It doesn't make sense. They packed it really well. I mean, the box did have some big dents in it, so maybe they tossed the box around and somehow it was enough to break that. But yeah, alright. Anyways, I'm probably gonna stop the video here because I need to get a replacement screen again first. But oh, here you can see it a little bit better how bad that crack is. I didn't even take this protective film off, as you can see. So anyways, I guess that's pretty much it. If you want to see how to replace the screen bezel and everything, I have another video showing that. The touchscreen still works. Oh shoot, how am I going to shut it down? I can't see over there. Okay. Okay. But anyways, yeah. You just snap everything back together, put all the screws back in, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, when I get the replacement screen, if you need to see the video on how to put it all back together, feel free to message me and I will send that. It's too bad. I should have actually checked the screen beforehand, because now the customer is going to have to wait for their replacement. Actually, let me put this back together. At least it's a little more usable than before. So I'm actually, let me go ahead and put the bezel and everything back together. I'm gonna put the screws for the battery in first, since I already put the battery on. So let's go ahead and do that. Though normally you would put the bezel first. Okay, let's get these screws in. Okay. I wasn't expecting it to be broken when I opened it. I didn't actually even inspect it that close because it looked really well packed. But alright, let's go ahead and put the bezel back. I'll leave the protective film there for now. Yeah, alright, let's get this in. So this, you kind of have to lean it forward a little bit because this bezel's a little tough to get in there. Once you get that in, you can go ahead and slide that down. Sorry, I know it's out of view a bit. There you go. And then we're just going to pop all of this back into place. Okay, I know I make it look easy, but let's go ahead and snap all of this in. Okay, now that piece is getting pushed out from the bezel. I'm going to have to see what the customer wants to do, because that sucks. I thought it was all good and everything was ready to go, but apparently not. Okay, so this bottom piece is quite a bit difficult to get in usually. Oops. But actually it looks like it's in. Okay, so I think the only problem now is because of the screen film I left on there. It's preventing it from sticking down all the way, as you can see. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and close this up. We'll see what the customer wants to do. If anything, I'll just have to take the screen back out and then we'll wait for it. But all right, so here we go. Screen cover goes back on just like this. Just get everything lined up, and then you can go ahead and push everything back into place. Okay, just like this. All right, clip all the sides down, just like that. There we go. All right, and then we just get all the screws back in. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. Helps you save a bunch of money. Please consider contributing a little to the channel so that I can continue making these videos for a living. Other than that, that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I finish putting back the rest of the screws. Yeah, thanks for watching. All right. All these screws back in. Go, and then don't forget the rubber pieces, of course. Okay, line that up, stick that in place. All right, and there we go. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one. Bye. Let's drop this.